Hey guys, sorry about that. I was I was giving Percy his little treat, so I got distracted. My bad. My bad. Anyways, wanted to go ahead and talk about the end of Oat Street. What is streak? The end of Oat Street. I thought it was gonna be like a cheesy series. Where like a all American family back in the I believe it's the 80s. A lot of 70s and 80s stuff recently. Um, just kind of like, I don't know, is living through some sort of monotonous life and like aliens happen. Um, Something like that does happen, but not really. It gets a little bit crazier. And then I saw the trailer and the poster, and then I saw dinosaurs. And I was like, wait a minute, aliens, dinosaurs, that's weird. Finally got to see it this last week. It was an interesting watch. Um, McGregor and Hathaway are in the movie. Uh, there is, uh, again, like I said, the American style family back in the 70s, 80s. And, it starts off with them kind of going into a little barbecue, kind of like how what people used to do back in the day and socialize and not just be on social media. And they had cookouts and they were having a good time. And people were talking behind your back, but they were kind of doing it in front of your face, and people were all on your business, which was very annoying. But in a way, it's like you knew what your neighbors were doing, you know? You knew who you had living around you, which, based off on how things have been recently in the world, is a little bit better, in my opinion. Whatever. Anywho, and anyway, so the story starts off with this family, normal thing, boy, girl, husband, wife. They're getting through things. You can see they have, financial issues. You can see that they're struggling a little bit. You can see that the marriage is kind of strained because um, McGregor doesn't really listen to Hathaway, the character for Hathaway, for the wife. He's like, "Hey, I got to work. I'm gonna go do a couple of pizza deliveries, earn a little bit of extra money." And she's like, "Yeah, but you said you quit. So like, what's going on? Like, I thought you said everything was in order, and this is not in order. Like, what's going on?" But she's also got something going on that she's hiding. It, and she's basically a writer. She's writing a book, and she had been like taking her scripts to a neighbor who used to be like a former book editor, and gives her a lot of feedback on the book that she's writing, etc. And the kids also have their issues. The boy is gonna get his butt kicked by the school bully because apparently the kid decided to bully the bully's little brother. Um, and then I think the daughter is the only one that doesn't really have issues. She's just kind of like teen angst, where like she wishes she had maybe like a boyfriend, and she's starting to find out, what it is to be attracted to someone, but not necessarily boy or girl. She just kind of feels conflicted. It is what I see at first. Conflict between this her friend female and her boyfriend, you know. Uh so it kind of starts off kind of weird like that. Through the nights, they start experiencing these weird events where like the dog starts like barking at things. The neighbor finds like a pile of manure. I'd say shit, but it's like literally looks like cow manure, but a stack of it in his backyard. Accuses the family. That causes some drama because obviously that neighbor and that family, the family don't get along. Um, Eventually, one day, a big flash happens. A bigger, much longer flash happens, and they're no longer in Earth, or they are in Earth, but they're like at a different period of time in Earth. Um, and they, it like their entire neighborhood, like maybe like it was, I'd say like 3, 4 streets worth of a neighborhood, like in a circular. in a circle, it gets like imprinted into back in time where there was dinosaurs. And they find out because they start seeing these huge man-eating dinosaurs. They see a bunch of other creatures, right? A lot of other things that are not necessarily carnivores, but also herbivores. They see how their neighbors start getting attacked. The parents start getting attacked. The dog goes missing. Dude, that's why, I've talked about this before, but it, having a pet and then being in situations like these, it always sucks because there's always going to be that. It's so cliche. I wish they didn't add it anymore in movies because you already know what's going to happen next. And it's very annoying. And I understand that it kind of helps progress the plot, etc. But like having to have that one kid who always goes after the dog, even though it's like irrational, because like that kid is gonna die or is gonna cause a parent or sibling to die or somebody else, right? And then the dog is gonna be okay, right? The dog survives because they often don't like to kill the dog in the movie. So that's something that does happen too. Um, they eventually find a way back in a very, I guess, convenient way. I didn't see the point. It looks like it's aliens that caused this. Because they also explain, I don't know if it's alien. Okay, so hold on. I think it's aliens. They say, but to me, it just makes more sense for it to be like someone rather than like the way they explained it in the movie, where it's like, oh, it's just, physics and time and, there could be like a out of sync thing and it creates portals and wormholes randomly. Just the probability of that is so low. It's so weird that it just did not make sense to me. But hey, I'm not a physicist. So please, by all means, comment below, tell me that I'm wrong and how it could be wrong. And that potentially I should be worried about a random pocket of time popping out of nowhere and teleporting me back in time where there was dinosaurs so that I can be ready for that sort of event. Uh, assuming I'm lucky enough to be fully in the hole, in the wormhole, time portal, whatever. I just saw a lot of people and houses get sliced by this thing, and I mean, either I'm in or I'm out, but I don't want to be halfway. That's for sure. When this thing comes, check it out. It's a great movie. I think it's a great watch. It's fun. It's angsty. You know, uh, it's one of the better movies that I've seen. Uh, Recently. And it's a different story. It's not another retail remake of something like we just saw on on the last episode, which I talked about a Ghost in the Shell. Which, by the way, I forgot to tell you, Ghost in the Shell. This series, five stars, cinco estrellitas de plata out of five. And for the movie, um, I would say I give this movie the cliches. It's just what kills me, dude. I'm gonna give this movie a 3.5. 3.5 estrellitas de plata. 3.5. Silver stars out of 5. And yeah, let me know what you think. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, do the whole YouTube, Spotify thing. And nos vemos.